What's up, guys? I know I'm late to the party. I've been having problems with my laptop at home. Um, so, I did see the trailer. I've read several articles about the upcoming game. So, we wanted information and we got it. So, I'm going to tell you what I think about the trailer. We're going to look at that. I'm going to look through one of the articles that has a good bit of information in it about the game. Again, I'm late to the party, but these are my thoughts, I guess, for what it's worth. Um, so I'm gonna browse through this and sort of try to hit the main points and let you know what I think. NASCAR 21 Ignition. I'm not crazy about the name. I think they should have just left it NASCAR 21. It's simple, and in terms of marketing, I think everybody would have been okay with that. I don't, this doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but if you are gonna focus on marketing, I just think NASCAR 21 would have been the way to go. Keep it simple, and people know what it is. Um, I don't know what to think about this. Hold on a second. It's not really a big deal to me, but I don't know. NASCAR 21 Ignition. As usual, the pictures look great. The screenshots are. I got no problem with the way the game looks. It looks really good, and we all know, of course, that graphics aren't everything, and it's not the most important thing. But it's important to note that it looks great, and we finally have a game that actually looks, or at least from the screenshots, seems to look like AAA level quality, uh, like a good AAA quality product. So I'm happy about that. Drivers get ready to ignite a new chapter. Motorsport Games has dropped details, but NASCAR 21 Ignition. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Right. Just in case I have issues with my laptop, I want to be able to have something else I could look at. NASCAR 21 Ignition features a combination of the Unreal Engine and R Factor 2 physics for the next generation of NASCAR racing under the official NASCAR gaming license. The game aims to deliver an authentic experience with what MSG says will be immersive gameplay, dynamic AI, and stunning visuals. Okay. Um, the physics feature track specific aero horsepower packages representing each venue. Blah blah blah. Let's see. I'll get to the trailer in a second. What to do? A lot of promised immersion will likely come from the game's career mode. Per the release, a career on NASCAR 21 Ignition will provide players with a driver-focused progression model. Driver-focused means that we're not going to get an owner mode. We're not going to get, uh, a lot of the business side of things. It's just basically it's going to be what we saw in the early Heat games, where you're just like driving for contracts and trying to meet specific goals. It does go a little deeper. I did read in a different article. I don't know if it's going to say it here, but uh, that you're going to have the ability to negotiate contracts. So it's a little extra. It's any little thing they can add to it is good. You are going to have an agent in the game who contacts you. So nothing really deep. Um, but it is the first game. I'm not really shocked about some of the things that I've already read. Um, I know it's not going to have trucks or Xfinity. I know a lot of people are going to be really upset about that. It is disappointing. I'm not going to lie. And I do think the other series do add certain layers of depth that are going to be kind of missing here. But I'm also going to say that uh, I'd rather have a really good, solid, focused Cup Series focused game that has a lot of the things we haven't seen in NASCAR games, like presentation and a lot of the other smaller details. I'd rather have that for the first game. and then let them add those series later down the line than to have all three series and it's just super bare bones. Unfortunately, because it's the first game, you're not going to get everything you want the first time. So I can live with it for the first game, but it really depends on the execution. Like, are they able to execute and actually give us a really solid uh, Cup Series focused game the first time out? And then they can add those things, the things that are missing later. That's what I'm concerned with. So I'm not super concerned that those other series aren't in the first game, but I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it. It is what it is. 40 player online races. All right, blah blah blah. The online multiplayer is going to be pretty simple. You're going to be able to have 40 people on. They're going to have a playlist party matchmaking system. There will be two different playlists to hop into. Shake and bake multiplayer hopper. Uh, Intermediate and super speedway tracks, and then if for those of you who want short tracks and road courses, they're gonna have this bump and run hopper, they call it. Yeah, I guess if you happen to be one of those people that especially from like the heat games where you're just all you see is like 90% of the people, they just Daytona Talladega, and you're like, I want to run other tracks, man, but everybody's just doing the restrictor plate races over and over and over and over. You're going to have the ability to at least go into a different hopper where people, like-minded people, are going to be like, okay, let's pick these other tracks, and you don't have to worry that you're just going to see everyone voting for Daytona Talladega. That's a decent idea, but what if you're one of these guys that want to run intermediates, what mile and a half tracks, my favorite type of tracks, but you're in the shake and bake hopper, but everyone's voting for Daytona Talladega? I mean, it's just one of those things that you got to live with. It's just that's the nature of online racing, especially at the video game level. I mean, I'd have to see more about that. This really doesn't get deep into it. Um, Another great looking screenshot. This is one of the screenshots I like a little bit more. I love these nighttime with the where the lights really pop in the image. Hopefully, when you play the game, it really does look like this. Even in the back, in the distance, when you see the cars going around the track and the trees and the lights, it really looks impressive. So I'm really happy with the visuals. All in the details, the new game aims to offer realistic race day representations with a heightened attention to detail. Based on the trailer, the tracks are accurate with the grandstands, and the grandstands are lively. The pre-race build-up and post-race review are also aiming for broadcast level quality. New paint booth offers unparalleled levels of customization, complete with an iconic race number. Okay. Um, yes. Finally, presentation is getting attention, and these games have sorely lacked presentation. Uh, and all these NASCAR games have lagged way behind other sports games. Every other sports game has presentation really down pat. And to hear them going for a broadcast level quality, I'm excited to see what that is. Obviously, until we see it, but I'm excited about that. And it's about damn time that we get a developer who's focusing on these things that they're important. And it's the biggest reason these games feel so bare bones is because they are just you click a few things, you jump in the car, you're in the race, you finish the race, you get back out, you click a few things, you go back in. There's nothing happening off track. So I'm really happy that they are really putting time into that. A datapad tablet, which I saw in the trailer. I'm sure most of you have seen it already. We'll go through the trailer. I'll talk about it again, but I'm really excited about this. I've talked about it, wanting to see sort of like where you sit in the cockpit of the car and you have that tablet and you can somehow use that tablet for things like maybe complain to your crew chief about certain spots on the track where you're having trouble and maybe you can make adjustments according to that. I'm sure we're not going to get that. Those are ideas I've been pushing for the past few years. Those of you who've been watching me for some time now, you've heard me talk about it. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this. And I did read, and even in another article, that uh, that tablet is going to be something that you're going to be using, and that even, well, I'll talk about it later. Where the setup, oh, look, it says it here. Uh, Serves as a menu at the racetrack where car setup can be adjusted, and victory lane celebrations are said to showcase accurately modeled trophies from each race event. Yeah, it's nice. It's about time that the trophies actually are the correct trophies. It's a small detail. It's not something that's going to really make a huge difference, but every little detail matters. And I've always said that. So yeah, it's nice to hear that. They do throw in a few really things like that just sound funny. Like up here it says complete when they're talking about customizing, complete with an iconic race number. I mean, what does that mean? Of course, you're going to be able to put a number on the car. It just, I don't know. Some of the things that you hear in the marketing, it just leaves you scratching your head sometimes. I mean, why even mention that? That's my point, right? Unlike previous NASCAR Heat titles, the game solely focuses on the NASCAR Cup Series. The rosters include NASCAR Cup drivers, racetracks from the 2021 season. Tracks such as Bristol Dirt, Daytona Road Course, and Indianapolis Race Course are in the game, but originally scheduled 2021 track Auto Club Speedway is not, nor is the historic Indianapolis Oval. All right, I'm going to take a moment to explain to you why we're going to get a first game that only has Cup and things like that. And a lot of it has to do with NASCAR. And as you guys know, NASCAR did make some very late decisions in term of the schedule this year. This dirt thing came along pretty late. Now they started developing this game about 2.5 years ago. So when NASCAR came out and made these big changes to the schedule, I'm sure it threw a big wrench in the plans that uh, motorsport games had, and the things they were already working on. It's very difficult to make these big changes on the fly. So during development, they had to come in and then add, the dirt at Bristol, road course at Daytona, and the Indianapolis road course. These are things that happened very late in development for these guys. So for them to be able to get those tracks rendered and put in the game and do all the things they have to do to make sure everything works, it's a pretty big task. So for them to be able to do that, I think people really do need to keep that in mind. And that kind of stuff means you got to take resources from one area and put them somewhere else. And at some point, I'm sure they probably wanted all three series in there, but you got to make decisions. So they made the right decision, I think, for the first game. That's the way to go. I think people will be happier if they get a much more fleshed out product that's if it's only a cup game than to have all three series and then have a bunch of things they couldn't add. You got to have the right schedule in there and these other tracks that are part of the circuit. So that's why these things happen. I love seeing these things where it's off track stuff that's happening in the game. We need more of this the type of things you see in other sports games. There's a lot that happens that's not on the court or the field and things like that. And that's what helps immerse you in the game. And that's what I want to see and what has been missing. So I love seeing this stuff. Full NASCAR race day experience, okay? All the cup drivers have been face scanned for realistic representation. Alex Hayden from Motor Racing Network will provide commentary throughout the gaming experience. Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace, will serve as your spotter throughout the game. Plus, there will be an interactive crew chief. Oh man, somebody talked a lot about having an interactive crew chief in a NASCAR game that will help immerse you in the game and also have a way for you to somebody for you to interact with in these games. That's what you need. I wonder who that was. This guy. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I know you guys probably aren't as excited as I am about stuff like that. But if it's done well, I promise you guys are going to feel the difference. And that's what I've wanted to see. And hopefully the execution is there. So I don't know what this fully means, but I'm so excited to see where it goes. There will be a TV style replays with. Okay, so we're gonna have replays. Another good small feature that we've been begging for with trackside, on car, and aerial cameras as well. Yeah, they're going. Sounds like they're going all out with presentation. I love it. The soundtrack, blah blah blah. I never cared about soundtracks in these games. To me, it doesn't matter. I usually shut the music off anyway. So the minute-long teaser trailer takes the viewer through a multitude of different venues, racing coliseums. The video portrays the first look at what to expect from the new game, from the track to pit road from the garage area to the grandstands. NASCAR 21 Ignition looks to offer a full race day experience. I like hearing that. I know it's marketing fluff, but that's what I've been wanting. There's so much more that happens. It's not just these games can't be about just hop in the car and then race. The most important thing, of course, is the gameplay, is how these cars feel, how they race, the AI, all that stuff. That's the most important thing. We all know that. But if that's all there is in these games, it's just a it's going to feel like a bare bones demo. And having all of these extras, the presentation, all of these extra details, interacting with your crew chief, all that stuff, things I've been wanting to see, things that are going to hopefully help elevate this to a whole other level. So let's move on from that. I'm excited. Legends Champions Motorsport Games is thrilled to offer most true to life simulation of NASCAR. Our partners have dedicated an incredible amount of talent and resources towards completely redeveloping the game. Okay, we know all this. I'm not going to read all that. But Hall of Famer Bill Elliott will be on the cover of the Champions Edition. Elliott is included as a playable character with his own unique paint schemes in this version. You know, they're talking about these season passes. I don't get pumped up about season passes, DLC, things like that. You guys know how I feel about that. But it does at least seem that they're adding more than just paint schemes. That to actually have quote unquote playable characters like Bill Elliott, and then you're gonna have. They did also talk about they're gonna add others in the future. You if you're gonna try to sell DLC to people, you have to do more than just paint schemes and just some visual stuff. I'm still not really sold. I seen a version like for $90 where you get everything. I have not been impressed with any of 704's DLC. Um, yeah, and it looks like they're going to continue this trend because it's extra money for them. It's just a part of business now, and I'm not I'm not happy with it, but I'm not gonna. It is what it is. I'm gonna stick with the basic version. I don't see enough to spend all that extra money. It's not. I'll have to see what else they offer. Now maybe it leads into something in the future where um, they actually start bringing in classic things like not just playable characters or people you can race against, uh, but maybe classic tracks in the future, right? That's always something in the distance where, okay, now we're talking. Now I might be willing to give you my money for the extra DLC stuff. That's what I'm looking at. Like, okay, that's worth more money. This stuff, okay, it is what it is. I'm sure the kids out there they'll spend the extra money, or their parents will spend it just to keep them quiet, to get these little extra things. I don't think it's worth it. Another awesome screenshot. You don't have to keep telling me that graphics aren't everything. I know that. Still, it's important. I can't help but look at this. This is mind blowing compared to the graphics from the past. And it's important. It is important. So it's not the most important thing, but I love seeing this stuff. There's so much detail in here. It really looks great. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty expensive for some of these things when you add it all up. This Champions Edition. Then there's also something they mentioned about. I don't see it here. Um, that's my wife on the phone in the background, so I apologize. I hope you could still hear me. Anyhow, pre-orders are open as of August 12th. Purchase for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Next gen gamers have no fear. There will be a free upgrade path for native PS5 and Xbox Series X versions post launch. They haven't said when this will arrive, however. So, I did see this in on Motorsport Games website when they talked about PS4, Xbox One, and I was really concerned at first. I said, "Wait a minute. We're not going to get this on next gen consoles." That was a big concern for me. So, I'm glad to see that it is coming. It's just something that's not going to be out immediately. I get it. As I said before, it's the first game. Time, they have to time all these things, and they're not going to get everything done right off the bat. So it'll come later down the line. And so that has helped uh, calm those, concerns. So yeah, it'll come later down the line, and then of course it'll be a free upgrade if you buy the PS4 version or the Xbox One version, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So okay, so that we're just gonna have to wait a little longer for those versions. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe yeah, maybe I'll just get the PS4 version on the PS5, or I did email D-Box to see if they're gonna support this game for my motion simulator, because if they do, I'll get it on PC. Um, I haven't heard back from them, so I don't know. I really would rather play the game on PC if it's supported with my for my motion simulator, but if not, I'll get the console version. All right, those who pre-order will get access to the game 2 days before on October 26th. Yeah, it's I've never been a fan of like I want to play the game. Like, am I gonna want to sit around for 2 days knowing people are playing the game? I'm gonna have to pre-order it just because of that. But I hate that they do this. It's like the game is available to play on October 26th. Just release it to everybody, but they want you to pre-order. This is just the way these companies all do business now. So there are certain things I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet. Let's get to the trailer, and I'll talk about my other big concern. I'm sure you guys have seen it. All right, I'm gonna leave the sound off. No, I'm gonna leave it. Let me see. I'll put it on. All right. You know what? Hold on. Let me. Man, this laptop is so damn slow. All right, let it keep playing. Just putting in the work in, feel it running in my veins, like a runaway train. I'm never backing down, never taking no down, can't stop me now. Rising like legends over rivals, champions destined for the title. Last one standing, we're gonna prove it's not where we come from, it's what we came to do. It's what we came to do. It's what we came to do. All right, I'm gonna go through it again. I'm gonna let it play in slow motion. and then we can go through. I'll tell you a lot of things. Before I get into it, the release date is at the end of October. So it's a month after what most of us thought. And as I said in my previous video, these guys never actually did confirm September. And I said it in my last video, and I'll say it again. This is not a big shock to me. Maybe they originally had it planned for September and they had to push it back a little bit. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. It's one more month. And what's important is that when the game drops, that we don't have major problems. And hopefully they're still polishing the game. And as you'll see in the video, there's a few things I want to point out that are a little one major concern that I do have. So first of all, uh, I know it didn't look like it when I just played the trailer, but when I first saw the trailer, I was really excited. But as I've always said, game trailers to me are not the best vehicle for showing a product. These things are just meant to get you excited. I'm not a fan of the way they chop these videos up into a whole bunch of 2-second shots, and you got to like pause and catch things instead of letting you soak in the game, right? Have all this music playing, and it's just meant to get you excited. But for me, it's so confusing at times, and I'd rather see a trailer that just shows you the game, have real gameplay footage in there, and then where you can hear the cars, things like that. We don't know how the sound of the game's gonna be because this music is there. It's like, for me, these trailers are not the best way to know what this game's gonna be. And when you do look at the quick shots of the gameplay, it's hard to pick up what's really going on. So you got a lot of it is guessing, right? And then you end up sometimes you end up concerned about things that are not a concern, and other things they slip under the radar, and you find out, you know what, this was a problem. So let me go through the video. Let me take the sound off. All right, let's look in it. So another great shot. I really love these distant shots of everything. Um, the lighting is fantastic. I like having these giant screens at the track, just actually, playing video. Yeah, it's a generic thing, but still, it's really good eye candy. And these games have been lacking this stuff, so it's good to see so much detail. These pit signs are very highly detailed. I love these shots. You can see the cars going by, people wait. I mean, I love this stuff. So it's looking good. All right, so here's the first thing that really caught me, uh, that excited me. Uh, some of this off-track stuff, like these your crew pushing the car either into the pits or out towards the track. But obviously, these two guys, weird-looking twins. This is not. I don't think this is like an. A lot of the stuff you see in these trailers are from early versions of the game. I'm sure they're going to work on these character models. They're kind of creepy looking and they look the same. And that's obvious. So I'm not going to flip out over this because they're going to fix these things. These are pretty obvious things. This is probably from an earlier uh, model. But I love the detail of these. This is what I've been wanting to see in these games. A lot more of these off track. I don't want to call them activities, but it's just part of your NASCAR day or weekend. Um, and as I said before, well, you'll see it in a second. Here we go with the pad. Sitting in the car, and they said it's going to be interactive. You're going to be, using the pad for something. So I'm curious to see how that works out. But I've talked about these things in the past, and I'm really excited for these details are what it really caught me. and reading in the article about an interactive crew chief. How's that going to work? We don't know, but I'm excited for that. You know, it's these small details that I'm excited about. And here we go. We got a shot of some contact on the track. All right, hold on. All right, well, there'll be there's something I want to show you. It's coming up. And these pylons look cool. I just the lighting in this game looks really good. I wonder if this pylon is gonna be actually active, like accurate. Like it shows you who's running where. I mean, it's not gonna matter when you're in the race car driving. You're not gonna notice this, but I like the fact that in the background, it's gonna be lit. Yeah, it looks really good. All right. Here's the first big concern. I've never played R Factor, and most of the information I got was just reading or like watching videos of other people talking or doing or reviewing R Factor 2, things like that. And the strength of R Factor, I've, originally heard was the physics, the AI, the force feedback, and I forgot there was something else, right? That was the strength of R Factor, and the physics do seem. I mean, again, it's a trailer. There's. I'll talk more about the physics in a second, but the AI, I've been hearing recently. I've seen comments that the AI is not good. So I'm not sure what to believe. Do they mean that all the AI is bad, or is it just the AI for? I know that R Factor added stock cars to that game, and maybe that's what's not working, or oval track AI doesn't work well, and the road course stuff is actually good. So I'm confused now because I always heard the AI was a strength, it was good. And lately I've been seeing people make comments like the AI is not good. And when I see this in a trailer, again, it's a trailer, but I don't like this. First of all, I've noticed, and you'll see in a different shot. One, the where the cars are actually on the track racing doesn't really make sense when you know in real life where the race lines for these cars, it doesn't jive. Now, in this case, what really bothers me is that these cars look like they're on a rail, like almost like a train. This is the type of thing you expect to see at Daytona and Talladega, where these cars are perfectly in line, a conga line, and it's like I want to see these guys kind of running different in different sections. Somebody should be. This is a corner, and some cars should be running right. Try to run the bottom, maybe another one on the top. Uh, just watching these cars in a row like this, it's not good. And this is to me my biggest concern so far is the AI, because if the AI is not good, this is not going to work. Uh, no matter how good the physics are, and I know the physics are important, but if the AI that you're racing against is static and they're like on rails and they're not running different lines, it's like it doesn't matter how good the physics are or how the car feels in your hands. Um, the AI is just as important. So this concerns me. Now you'll see in a second here. All right, hold on. The details, man. This game looks good. There's no denying it. Now I wonder if this is part of the pre-race. It looks good though. It looks like some going down the pits. All right. Oh my God. God, that's a beautiful shot. All right. All right. I guess yeah. This they're at Martinsville. Yeah. Someone else pointed out, some of this stuff it doesn't look right, and I agree. A lot more of these cars should be hugging the bottom. I mean, it is Martinsville, so it concerns me a bit. Things like that. That's the most important. And look, you're going down the backstretch. It looks like Vegas. These cars should be closer to the wall. This is the race line coming off and going down the backstretch. Unless you're trying to pass somebody on the inside, these cars are they're off the wall. And it might not look like that big of a deal here in a trailer, but if this is the line that they're going to be racing, that really concerns me. And so, yeah, right. Now here's some of the physics. I like it because it does feel predictably. Yeah, you could see they're yeah they should be a little closer to the wall. It's not that bad here. You see a bunch of cars side by side here going into the corner. This isn't as bad as some of the other shots, but now you got some contact, and it does look proper. Yeah, you could see the car bounce off the wall. Um, I'm not too sure about the damage model. I'm not, the damage model has to be good, but I'm not somebody who goes crazy about the damage model. I don't know if it's that I'm used to the damage model on these cars never being perfect. Like if you play Wreckfest, a game like those type of games, the damage model is phenomenal, but that's what those games are built for. It's like that's their top priority. I don't know if we're ever going to see that level of damage model in a NASCAR game, but um, yeah, I don't. I'm sure a lot of people look at this and expect a little better, but the physics part of it, I'm happy with. And the way he bounced off the wall and the car got kind of up on one side, and then it gets hit by this other car. Yeah, and it reacts the way you would expect, physics wise. So physics, I think we're in good shape. But again, it's just a trailer. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Uh, I am excited, and I want to see more, and I can't wait to read more. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I was really concerned about the AI. To me, that's at the top of my list right now. From what I've seen, as far as what to be concerned with, that it's the AI. I really want to see gameplay footage. That's where my focus is on right now. And of course, any more information we can get, which I'm sure is coming. Now we have a release date. I think people can calm down now. And we got information. We got a trailer. That's what we wanted, and they delivered. Now, some people I'm sure are thinking, oh, everybody complained, and that's why they rushed out and dropped all this. I don't believe that at all. It takes a lot of planning to do a trailer, to drop all this information. These articles are all written. They didn't do that in 24 hours because a bunch of us complained about it. I think it was a coincidence. I think the timing is just there. Um, so we got what we wanted. I'm fairly happy with most everything. Again, my main concern right now is the AI. I'm not sure what to think anymore. I've never played R Factor. Those of you who have, let me know. Get in the comment section. Tell me how is the AI in R Factor? I don't know. I'm confused because early on, that's one of the things people said was great about it. I don't know where some of this stuff is coming from, but I've seen it now a few times in other comment sections or people talking about it. Like the AI is not good. That's a huge concern to me, and that no matter how good everything else is, will break this game. If the racing against this AI is not good, I mean, that's a big concern for me. I don't want to get too carried away with getting worried about that, but yeah, those are that's my main concerns. So, but I there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to like. When I read some of these details about the career mode, the presentation especially, it's been such a long time coming, and I really can't wait to see what they do with that. Um, you know, these details matter, and having a what they call a broadcast level quality of presentation, pre-race. They talk about post-race replays, and you're gonna have announcers throughout the game. Yeah, I'm excited about those things, and the direction that they're pushing is the right direction. I like a lot of the decisions they've made. It's just it all boils down now to execution. You know, what are we actually going to end up with when we're playing the game? That's what really matters. And that AI has to work, man. That's to me, I'm worried about that. I'm not gonna lie. So, but there's a lot to be excited about as well. So, I'm not gonna. What else can I tell you? So, those are my thoughts. I'm curious to know if you guys are excited. What do you think about the things I mentioned? And what's your biggest concern right now? Just watching this stuff. Again, it's gameplay trailers are different from regular trailers, right? Or I shouldn't call it a gameplay footage, I should say. It's different. Uh, that's really where my head is right now. Game trailers, yeah, it's hard to really know what a game is from a game trailer, especially the way they chop it up and edit it and stuff like that. Maybe I'm worried about nothing. Maybe it's just whatever. Or, like I said, a lot of this stuff is early footage of the game that they use to make these trailers. And maybe the AI was in the early stages at that point and they just had it where they're just doing laps. And, as time goes on, they continue to work on the coding and making the necessary changes. So that could be the case too. So, yeah, I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts? That's pretty much it. I look forward to your comments. Later, guys.